Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran. I like to help people using a spiritual perspective. Today I wanted to talk about twin flames. I've made a couple of videos in this in the past. Um, Today I wanted to talk about how to stop chasing your twin. Now that can be an extremely hard thing to do considering the magnetic attraction, the life-changing catalysts, the moments, the feeling, the pull, the push, all of that, the emotional intensity that you feel during that type of relationship. It can be very hard to detach from it and to distinguish yourself as an individual in the connection and ultimately in the world, right? Because again, like as I've said before in previous videos, kind of the whole point of a twin flame relationship is for you to connect with yourself, for you to love yourself, for you to be authentic. Okay, so I put like 6 or 7 different kind of ways to just stop chasing, to allow yourself to get out of that energy and to more into your own power. Okay, cool. All right, so the first one I put find a new hobby. Now, this might be kind of silly sounding as if, like, a hobby's gonna suddenly make you not want to be with them. No, of course, like, you're still gonna want to think about them. You're still gonna miss them and stuff like that. But really, this is a starting point to taking back your power and to giving yourself the energy that you would have given to them, right? That unrequited love type of energy that often happens during a twin flame relationship, especially at the beginning stages. Doing this is going to allow you to kind of step forward into your own power in a healthy way, right? So finding a new hobby just gives you something to focus on other than your twin, right? And when you meet your twin, it's hard not to attach everything that's happened back to them. So it kind of is hard to start something new, especially when you have all this baggage, all this pain. You're constantly thinking about them, wondering what happened. There might not be any communication. There's lots of different things that have happened that you just can't make sense of, and you might feel like it's very hard to start something new. But if you find a new hobby, which you often do during awakenings in general, but especially after meeting a twin, you'll find that focusing on something new and profound that connects you with yourself, that you actually enjoy doing, that's new, that you've discovered for yourself, is going to allow you to basically come into a new sense of identity, something that you didn't previously know, that you didn't previously understand. Okay, so for me, very simply, it was music, rock climbing, and just recently tarot cards. Okay, so each one of those things has a different effect on me. Rock climbing was, or is, kind of makes me feel like a child. Um, it's just fun. It's not for anything career. It's just for me. I don't want to teach anybody about it. I don't want to do anything. I don't even like going there and rock climbing with other people. I just like doing it for me and climbing the rocks and kind of achieving something. It's also physical. It engages me. So I like that. Music is a new passion of mine, something that I'm going to do with my career. I can already sense it. And the tarot readings is something that's a spiritual tool, a spiritual hobby. So not only is it helpful to others, it's also helpful to me because it helps me connect to the universe, right? So, your own hobbies are your own, whatever it is that you might discover. But, for me anyway, these 3 things have really given me something to focus on other than that relationship. Okay, and that's going to be super important moving forward for you as well, because it's going to be like a really good, healthy starting point for you. Because you find a hobby and you never know where the hobby's going to lead. I mean, even if it's just making a new friend, possible, it opens up different doors for you, and you'll never know where that's going to lead, right? And that's the whole point. So for number 2, I put meditation, going within. Uh, this is kind of self-explanatory. I pretty much mentioned this many times, and everybody's always going to tell you this. There comes a point in a twin flame relationship where the answers that you're getting from the outside world, even if it's tarot readers, psychics, horoscopes, your birth chart, natal charts, all the stuff that you might, acquire information, all of those things to kind of feed that loop inside of your head to confirm and stuff. That stuff kind of just stops cutting it after a while. And you really, really feel called to just go inside of yourself for that clarity, for that understanding and that knowledge that you know inherently, but might not have really connected to yet. And so meditation just allows you to be with yourself, and it'll stop kind of that chasing energy. Um, Sometimes you'll even notice that if you get pretty far and then you go back into that energy, and sometimes it's not even you that's feeling that pull. It's actually their energy that you're feeling, your twins. And so what you're going to want to do with the meditating is you just kind of just take some deep breaths, sit with yourself, lay down, however it is you like to meditate, and just breathe, and you'll kind of see that you'll be able to quickly detach. And the more that you do it, the easier it'll become for you. And again, the whole point of that is to really just get you out of that energy of chasing that kind of heart space, kind of codependent sort of pull towards them. It's going to allow you to get more into your own space, more into your own power, and just sit back and relax. And then it'll let it wash over you. Breathe it out, breathe it in, whatever. Get rid of it, and then you go on about your day. And doing that repetitively will really get you into a space where you can allow the new to come in, right? And so even this isn't necessarily like a thing that's going to do anything specific, but it is going to allow everything to come to you, allow everything to flow to you, and it's going to allow you to relax and just get out of that energy. And pretty quick you can do that. If I ever feel it 3-4 minutes, it's over. Before I used to really struggle with it, and of course I wasn't even meditating at all. So it's just a helpful little tool, just to use as much as you can, or when you feel that you need to. All right. For 3, I put find a healthy support system. And this is kind of hard to do with twin flames, because a lot of your friends and family, especially ones that you've known before your twin flame entered into your life, they're not going to be able to understand you. They're not going to be able to help you. They're not going to be able to. They're definitely not going to be able to validate your experience, because it's something that's personal, profound, and not common. Okay, so those 3 things, those are all yours, and those are not most people's, and they're not going to be able to really confirm or deny anything. They're not going to be able to give you the things that you need. And most often people that I've noticed in my own life have been jealous, envious, or kind of just belligerent, ridicule the connection, make fun of it, scoff at it, some combination of all of those, or 1 or 2. Right, so you'll notice that a lot of people, they'll get jealous of that connection. When I would talk about my twin in a very loving and affectionate way, it was such a love that other people didn't understand. And to talk about somebody as if they're the best thing on earth is not something that other people necessarily want to hear, especially if they've got their own baggage and issues that they're dealing with, in regards to love or whatever it is. So people do get jealous, people do get envious, that they do gossip and stuff like that. And so that's kind of toxic, and it's definitely not healthy. Even if it isn't toxic, it's not helping you. So allowing yourself to find a new kind of support system is going to allow you to to really get into a different kind of energy, right? So you never know where it's going to be, where you're going to get this information from, where you're going to get this help. It could be a support group online. I used to go on Reddit and stuff like that at the beginning. It's been probably more than a year for me now. And at the beginning, I would go on forums and stuff and try to figure out what was going on. But it might be different for you. A YouTuber, a website. Loner Wolf is a website that really helped me with spirituality in general. They have a lot of free tests, for example, just to kind of give you clues about yourself. Things like that. Finding a support system, somebody you can rely on, something, is really going to give you a dominant type of energy, something that trumps out that weaker kind of vibrational, fear energy, that chasing, that, oh, what happens if I don't, I'll lose them. It's going to confirm basically that you can allow things to happen naturally and trust. And that's going to be a super important step for anybody in any relationship, of course, but especially a twin flame relationship, is the ability to trust your partner, the universe, the flow, yourself, all of that type of thing. So even a support system is something as simple as calling out to your angels and feeling their support is something that's actually helpful to you in a way, obviously, right? Who would not think that angels helping you would be a bad thing, right? Of course, it's a good thing. Okay, so number 4, and this is probably one of the most important things you can do, is focus on your career or your finances, right? So in a twin flame relationship, oftentimes somebody is awakened first, right? So I was the one that was awakened first. I'm the one going through the spiritual awakening type of thing, okay? I have been for almost 2 years now. With them, depending on whoever you're embodying, divine masculine, divine feminine, they are going to be the one that's more grounded in the physical, in the 3D world. So they're not going to have that connection to your higher self, to the universe, like you might. But they do have that other side of it. Okay, so in order to really stop chasing, you kind of need to get out of the 5D senses. You need to get out of that feminine energy and really start going into your career and your finances, and allowing you to focus on what you can see in front of you, what you can really put action into. That's going to really give you more confidence, of course, and it's going to take away the stress and the pressures and the questions in your head as you focus more on your own whatever's right in front of you. And building up that money will make you feel comfortable and safe in this world, right? And people often say, people have negative opinions about money. Some people have positive, people have neutral, but it can't really be denied that money gives you a sense of security at the very least. So focusing on a stable job, stable way of income, those type combination of the two is really going to enable you to stop chasing, and probably in the most profound ways. Okay. Number 5, and this kind of just goes to what I was just saying, is about balancing out those energies, balancing out the feminine and the masculine. So for me, I have a lot of feminine energy, very creative. That's how it started off for me in the awakening, and how I've kind of been all my life, very creative, art and music, writing, that kind of personality, that kind of side to me. And I'm the one that's doing spiritual stuff and YouTube and whatever else I'm doing. That kind of energy needs to be balanced out with masculine energy. And so for me, I'm very much getting into a masculine type of energy flow right now in my own personal life. A lot of exercise, trying to eat healthy, balancing root chakras and stuff, and trying to really keep the spiritual side, bring it down a little bit while bringing up the masculine energies and stuff. So by throwing myself into my work, kind of like that, right? Throwing myself into the things that I'm doing, the hobbies, the pursuits, the passions, and trying to make money and trying to create a future for myself in the 3D. And by doing that, you get rid of that chaser energy almost automatically. It happens very, very quickly by just focusing even 1 to 2 weeks of focusing on something. Maybe you get a new job, that job that you've always wanted, that you've been trying to manifest, that type of thing. So you kind of use you use your feminine energy, you use that spiritual side of you to create that 3D, right? And that's kind of the attitude to have, and that's why it's kind of interesting to be on that feminine side, or that awakened, the awakened twin first. To be that awakened twin first is because you kind of learn that the 5D influences your 3D reality, not the other way around. Whereas divine masculines often at the beginning do not realize that. They don't realize that at all. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to create a safe and secure 3D world. And then they think they can worry about the other aspects of it later on. But for divine feminines and stuff like that, for the people that are awakened in general, you often realize that creating you create your own reality type of thing. So to start in the 5D is actually a very good place to start, even if your world kind of looks like chaos. But it's actually better to start from kind of the metaphysical, because then the rest of your life is very secure, because you have that solid foundation within you. So it can't really be broken down, right? Oftentimes when you chase so much, like I did, my life fell apart at the beginning because all I did was chase her. But that being said, all of those things fell apart for a reason, because if they were there for me, if they were meant to be, they never would have fallen apart in the first place, because I never would have let them. I never would have chased somebody so much to the point that I let finances and jobs just pass me by, type of thing, right? They never would have happened. So it allowed me, as much as it hurt back then, it allowed me to grow and understand my place, and to really focus on what would actually ground me, that I wouldn't give up. What's a more accurate representation of me? What wouldn't I sacrifice? Of course, I'd sacrifice a shitty job at a place I don't care about for love. Of course, it was it was like Pizza Hut or something. Ooh, I don't give a shit about Pizza Hut. I would go back to that job right now just to quit again, just for the satisfaction, if I could. But I can't, because I quit on the spot like a boss. But the point is that you can't really you can't really chase them like that if you have something stable, if you have something that you wouldn't just sacrifice overnight, right? Something that you actually built and manifested and created. That's going to really ground you in the 3D, and that's going to almost automatically take away that type of chasing energy. Okay. 6, I just put allow yourself to grieve. Silly as it sounds, being sad and having your emotions is actually a good thing. It's actually a good thing to experience. I mean, uh, all the crying and stuff, all the purging, you can call it if it makes it easier. Purging makes it seem like you're going through something, whereas crying just kind of makes it seem like you're weak, right? So I just prefer purging. Makes it feel better. But anyway, if you allow yourself to do that kind of stuff and you get it out of your system, treat yourself as you're just letting your inner child cry, you're letting your inner child, whatever it may be, just express themselves through you in this now moment. You let it go, let it pass, and you'll see that your life flows much more smoothly. So if you need to cry about your twin flame, you should allow yourself to do it, because you won't be doing that forever. But the reason you won't be doing that forever is because you're crying now, right? So don't repress it, don't hold it in, and certainly don't beat yourself up for doing it. Allow it to happen so that in the future, in the near future even, you'll be able to go about your life in a better way. I used to be a mess, like a literal mess. Like I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And even though there are still lots of questions unanswered, it's much easier for me now to go on about my life and not have that type of energy about me. Okay? And so crying will really get rid of that chasing energy, because you do come to a point where you've had enough of crying. And in order to get to that point, you need to allow yourself to cry. Sometimes you do need to hit your own kind of bottom. Your emotional bottom doesn't have to be necessarily a rock bottom, but rock bottom can be different for everybody, right? I mean, even in just one little mini rock bottom might be you spent a week crying and you suddenly are like, you know what, I'm not doing that anymore. That's stupid. I'm done. But you would have needed to have done all of that crying to get to that point, right? So you get it. So the whole point is allow yourself to feel it and then move on. Okay? For 7, so last one that I put here, focus on your mission and allow the bigger picture to unfold. Okay, so you do have all the answers. That's the whole point of going inside of yourself in the beginning anyway. But by focusing on your mission, you allow yourself to have a deeper sense of gratitude, not only for your twin, but for yourself, for the universe, for the things that you're connecting to, for the people in your life, good or bad. You're allowing yourself to grow on your mission, right? In your mission, whatever it may be for you. Okay, so by doing things, helping other people, this is my attempt at a mission and stuff. There's other aspects that I'm doing that also have to do with my missions. Writing music, helping other people, even something as simple as just being compassionate to strangers. That's working with yourself, working on your mission, doing things like that. And as you do that, as you serve the humanity, and if you're an awakening on some level, if you're having an awakening, you definitely feel called to help others. Okay, that's almost the entire point. So by doing that, by allowing yourself to focus on that type of stuff, that's going to make you more appreciative of things, and you're not really going to have time to be chasing anybody. You're just going to be focusing on yourself, and that's a powerful feeling, and one that you can carry with you. Okay, that's something that you would want to carry with you. Whereas the chasing energy, you don't like it. You know that it doesn't feel good, and you know that you would rather not have it with you. So you don't want to take it with you, but it still kind of resides in your heart a little bit. But by focusing on your spiritual mission, you're doing something profound. You're doing something that's better than that feeling. So that feeling isn't even there. When I've been helping people in any kind of capacity, whether or not it was just sending a helpful text message, there was never a point during that where I was thinking about I didn't have that energy when I was doing that, right? I wasn't thinking about them, because when you're involved and actually helping somebody else and genuinely making a difference in someone's life, you don't have time for that type of energy. You just don't. So you just kind of go with your own flow of your own life. All right, and this allows the bigger picture to unfold, which gives you more downloads, gives you more information, allows you to see the bigger picture, allows you to kind of understand that by the end of it, you wouldn't want somebody that isn't 100% with you. Your twin might be in a karmic relationship, and you might know intuitively, well, you know what, that's going to end. It'll end at some point. I just got to focus on me. And by allowing that type of stuff, allowing that information to come into you, is more powerful than constantly, whining over them inside of yourself. Giving yourself that knowing, that faith that everything's going to work out, whether or not they're with somebody, they're not with you in the physical, they're somewhere else. Allowing the bigger picture to unfold kind of lets you see that you wouldn't want to be with somebody who isn't willing to be with you. Because by the end of it, by the time you really get to a point where you're balancing your own energies, you're working on yourself, you're doing that self-love work, you realize that you wouldn't want anybody. And it's a good thing that it happened the way that it did, because all of that stuff, you would have had to have gone through, and that would have been much more painful. So ultimately you realize that it's better to be alone and happy with yourself than with somebody and unhappy. And that's an extremely powerful thing to realize, okay? And something that I've definitely realized and put into effect over the past couple months. Better to be alone and happy than to be with somebody else and unhappy, okay? So you have to allow them to come to you. You have to allow them to come to you right. And also, you wouldn't want to go to them incorrectly either. You wouldn't want, I'm glad, because I wouldn't want to have been that chasey, weird, codependent type of character with them, because that wouldn't be me, and that would just serve to push them away anyway. And then they would have ran anyway, because you did. And that's how it works, right? So you have to really balance it out. Give yourself some time. Allow the things to unfold as they're meant to be, and kind of just, give yourself some space to grow, okay? Because there's lots of opportunities. There's lots of people to meet in the world. Whether or not you end up with your twin flame in the immediate future, it could be, the whole thing is, it is unknown. You might have that knowing that you'll be back together with them, but you don't know when, and you can't know when, and it's better that you don't know when. Otherwise, you would never have grown in the first place, okay? To know when they would come back would you'd find a way to cheat the system. You wouldn't feel like you had to do anything. And the whole point is that a twin flame forces you to grow, because you don't know everything, okay? It's such a relationship that you have to base off of just your intuition, which means growing. Intuition will give you little steps at a time, and you follow those steps, and it'll lead you towards that sort of victory at the end, okay? So again, I'm just going to go over them real quick. Just stop chasing your twin flame. 7 quick steps, right? Find a new hobby, something to begin, something new. Meditation, going within, allow yourself to breathe and get out of that energy as quickly as you can. 3, find a healthy support system, people that will support you and your beliefs and validate you and your journey. 4, focus on your career and finances. This is going to allow you to, again, ground yourself in the 3D, which will, 5, allow you to balance out your divine feminine, divine masculine energies, which, of course, if you can do that and focus on both at the same time and really give yourself that time, it'll allow you to come into alignment with yourself, which is, of course, when union happens. 6, allow yourself to grieve whenever you can. If you need to, get it out of the way. Don't beat yourself up for it. It allows new space to come in, new emotions to come in to replace the old heavy ones. And 7, again, focus on your mission, focus on yourself, of course, and just allow things to unfold as they're meant to, and you'll get those information, the things that you need when you need them, okay? All right, I hope those things helped. I really do. It can be definitely extremely hard to move on from a twin flame relationship, to move on from that energy, to move on from pain, to let go of the past, but ultimately you need to if you want to have your future, okay? All right, guys, you guys have a good day, and thank you for watching.